RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
What's up, everybody? This is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. Unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history. Decency. Say it with me. Decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We need more. Yay! Go team. We have to come up with a better cheer. Yes. Come on, everybody. This is our regularly scheduled Friday evening show. I see that the camera's blurry behind me. It must be some kind of filter. And thank you, Pookie's Mommy. I see you in the chat. And thank you for your super chat. Happy Friday, Tarabuster in the world's best chat room. Exactly. If you are on, if you want to watch the show with the greatest people, the greatest patriots ever, and the greatest people, and people from all over the world too. We do have some international fans and people who hang out in the chat room. Come and join the greatest chat room in American history at youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster. And hello, Winston. Nice to see you. So more people will be showing up. This is what happens usually. So thank you so much for all your support. I appreciate everybody. We hung out yesterday. I had a good time getting out of my own head, getting out of my own way. My mind is a bad neighborhood, as I was saying to Robin Kincaid, our friend Robin Kincaid. My mind's a bad neighborhood. I don't want to go in there alone. I need you guys with me. I need backup, So we need each other. That's how it works. That is how we were made. This is how we were created, to be together, and that's why we feel each other's pain. We have most people, normal people, not sociopaths, that infest the CEO class and sadly the halls of power. There are ways we could do something about that, and I'm not just talking about getting out the national razor, like as the French called it, but we could, for one thing, take money out of politics. And thank you, Diffuse OG. Good evening. Listening to you on my way home from work. Perfect after a long day. Thank you. Thank you for taking us with you, Diffuse OG. Because it's not the same without you guys. That's for sure. So we're all in this together. It's nice to know you're listening. And please be careful if you're driving. Don't veer off the road or anything. We need everybody in this fight. We'll meet you at the barricades when the time is right. So, yeah, what was I saying? So anyway, we had a nice show whatever. I was glad I did a show. That's all I can say, because I was in a mood. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat right out of the gate, as usual. Thank you, Jim. And Jim is also a moderator, so he's doing double duty in support of the show. And thank you, Diffuse, for your super chat. Very nice to see you, and thank you for remembering our regular Friday show. So tonight we will have a guest. Our Millennial correspondent Mark Middlestaedt will be calling in, or I'll call him around 9:30. Tara Jr.'s already here. I don't want to deal with his shit right now. Let me show you. I mean, I love him, but let's see. Where are you? There he is. He's already... What are you looking? He's looking at me. That's what he's doing. Meow. Can I get up there? No. So, I don't know what it is. He was asleep. He was sound asleep. As soon as I start, I guess it's the theme music. It must feels like it's like his cue to interject himself into the show. He must be very concerned about fascism, as we are, as we all are. So I just have to do some of our, just the plugs, so that helps keep us going and growing. And as you guys know, we're always here on YouTube at this time around 8:30-ish p.m. on Friday evenings. But then I try to do at least one show during the week, hopefully maybe more if we get enough support. And if you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. I have to say we've kind of hemorrhaged some patrons, and I do think it's probably because it's the holiday season and people are tightening their belts because they need to buy gifts and whatnot. It's very expensive. I understand that. So I do hope they'll be back. But I went on the patron site last night to post last night's show, and I was like, ugh! I almost went into shock. It made me a little sad. I don't take it personally. Well, maybe a little bit, but I of course appreciate all the support I can get. That's for sure. Or we can get. So, if you can become a patron. I do have to revamp the patron page. So just letting you know, it's on my list of things to do. I made a list because if I don't make a list, it's not getting done. And that's on the things to do list. And I think I need to make it more concise, and because I offer mugs, right? I don't send that stupid door thing. Not a door, the window cling. Nobody wants that shit. You want a mug? Oh, this is the horn. But we have a Tarabuster mug, so I'm drinking out of the horn mug. But so if you are a supporter of the show, and you don't necessarily have to be a patron, just a supporter of the show, just send me an email at tarabustermedia@gmail.com, and I'll send you a mug. I'll send you a nice Tarabuster mug. But that's one of the perks at the of being a patron. And if you can become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin, even $2 a month is something, because that helps get us up in the rankings, and it does help. So also, so I have to revamp the page and all that. It's kind of, it never stops. That's why I have no time to be depressed. Just got to keep moving forward. And what else? And we're also, I have to say, I'm very happy to be hosted on APS Radio News as well. Another great independent media aggregate. So if you can, and I highly, not just if you can, please support APS Radio News. Go check it out. There are other shows over there, and I'm all different points of view. And Charlie, the guy who runs it, is an incredible person, and that's one thing all the Tarabuster community has in common. Great people trying to make the world a better place. Can't we all agree on that, right? So, alrighty. Yeah. $2 a month is more than it's true. It is true. It does add up. I understand. I get it, guys. Fucking times are tough. So, but there are practical things to consider doing a show. It takes an investment, not just in time, but in money. So everything takes money, as you know. The restream, the eCam, like all of that. Everything is the microphone, the friggin' cameras, the whatever. And yeah, okay, let's do the damn show. It's now 15 minutes into it. I'm still talking about, still begging for money. But yeah, all right, if you can. Some people have it better off than others. I understand. If you can't support the show financially, tell your friends, right? I mean, don't tell your friends you can't support financially. Tell them to come hang out in the chat room. And, we don't have... See, this is what's so depressing, too. I guess this is a good point to just dive in. Because I was just reading before the show about the Nazi Nick Fuentes. And he's 24 years old. And he started his website, not his website, his filth, his vomit show in 2017. And he dropped out of school. He was in college, and he dropped out of school because he was also getting people are having a response to him being a Nazi. Most young people, it's heartening. It is very heartening to know that most young people are not Nazis. They hate Nazis, as we all should. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, this is Tara Devlin. So I'm talking about Nick Fuentes. So I was reading about him, and because how did Nick Fuentes go from this obscure dirtbag from 2017 to having dinner with the former so-called president of the United States? Now that's a pretty impressive leap. Didn't take that long, and it's another example of how right-wingers, this is the truth. They support each other. They really do. They support all the outliers, the outlier conservative voices, and that's I guess if Nick Fuentes was a little bit more about the dog whistles, he would be on Fox News. There's no doubt. He's hosted people who are representatives of the United States, right? He's Perjury Trader Green and others. Paul Gosar, that was another one. So I was reading about him, and I was just thinking, like, how the hell, this is the problem. Right wingers, I don't know what it is. They really do support each other, and I think that it's I don't know. It's kind of much to my eternal frustration that that doesn't happen on the left. So not everybody, I'm saying, but really for the most part, you don't see this show, for example. They would never put me on, I don't know, MSNBC or something like that. But that's what they do. You'll have Diamond and Silk on Fox News. They'll just pull them out from obscurity. But that's because they know that they need the propaganda to be everywhere. So wherever someone goes, whether they stumble upon it or go there deliberately, they want you to encounter the filth of conservatism. And they understand that. They are masters of manipulation because they don't have anything else. They don't have policies to crow about, as we know. That's why everything that they talk about is bullshit. It's always some fantasy, some fabrication, like, they're being groomed. Or, I mean, how many times do we have to go through this cycle before everybody says, will you shut the F up, Republicans? Give us a policy. Give us something that give us something that you're fighting for that isn't from the realm of QAnon fever dream. What do they have? But this is what we're up against. And this is another thing. They're on Twitter. Okay, we've been talking about Twitter a lot because Twitter is the reason I like Twitter. I have to say, I used to like it. Now it's a vomit show. But it's because it was easy. Yeah, you go on there and and you see what's trending and you encounter different news that you can absorb the news quickly from all different points of view. Unlike places like Reddit where everything's kind of compartmentalized. So that's why I liked Twitter, because I could just go on there and scroll through and kind of get a picture of what's happening right now. But and conservatives are always crying that they're being canceled, right? They're being suppressed. Like now the thing is, Elon Musk vows to get to the bottom of the Hunter Biden's laptop bullshit. Why the Hunter Biden laptop was suppressed? Because it's bullshit and we have other shit to talk about. The evil Hunter Biden laptop. This is the other thing. They keep saying, it's real. Hunter Biden's laptop is real. What? Yeah, it's real. What does that mean, though? What's in the fucking laptop? Booby? Right? Wait, hold on. I have to look something up. And recently, Elon Musk, he tweeted about, he stumbled upon some Stay Woke shirts. There was a Stay Woke shirt, and he tweeted it out, and he said that, oh, look, this was evidence of how obvious bias at Twitter. But the fact is, truth has a liberal bias. And if so conservatives, no one's suppressing you. So if you think you're being suppressed, what's being suppressed are your lies. So they want to post about how, for example, like Perjury Trader Green, how come masks, if your underwear can't protect you from a fart, how can a mask protect you from COVID? Shit like that. That's the kind of shit they spew. And is that being suppressed? It was being removed from Twitter as part of the attempt to not needlessly send dummies to their cold early graves. And they consider that's being canceled. They've been suppressed. Their voices are being attacked. If they can't lie, if they can't say the N-word, and this is what I'm saying, like, because as we see now, since Elon Musk took over Twitter, it became a cesspool of filth and Nazism. And he's brought back such avowed white supremacists, as if that's what's missing in conservatism. Because, like he said, and we read that article about him telling whoever was left at Twitter that, oh yes, he believes that Twitter can save the world because, rather than fighting, people can exchange ideas on Twitter. It will be a free exchange of ideas. Like what? Like trans people are less than human? Like gay people? Or gay people are going to hell, right? And Democrats are drinking adrenochrome. They're grooming everyone, and what else? Every other filthy lie under the sun. Trump won the election, right? Another one. That's the other stuff that was being removed from Twitter. The filth, the lies, the shit that gets people killed, the violence. So no one removed, as far as I know, there were no tweets removed that said, we believe in limited government and no taxes on the fucking rich. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hey, can anybody point out to me if that's what any tweets from conservatives saying that they believe that the rich should not be taxed and there should be no deregulation. Nobody removed these tweets. Low taxes, deregulation. What else is supposedly a conservative value? I guess that's it. No government. So, and even with the owning, the owning the libs, the way I feel about that. If you're motivated, if that's your motivation, owning the libs. This is another thing I can't stand about the corporate media. They'll say that conservatives will want to own the libs. That's the only thing they want to do. But they won't make that extra. They won't take the extra step of critical thinking and say that the truth, that if that's your motivation, then you are not a patriot. You are one of the domestic enemies the founders warned us about. You're motivated by upsetting your fellow Americans? That's what you want to do? Could you imagine if liberals behaved like that? We want to what? We want to make you not use the bathroom that you feel like you need to use. Right? You know what I mean? Imagine that. That would never happen, of course. Conservatives are, they're so put upon. But what are liberals trying to do? Ensure that they don't die without health care. Maybe get them some health care. Right? Living wages, retirement security. I need to look something up. I can't find it because anyway, whatever. I have to call. I don't have to, but I want to call Mark, our millennial correspondent, in a few minutes. We'll get his perspective on this. We're going to go on Twitter. Yes. Not Twitter. Why? I keep saying Twitter. I guess because I got Twitter on the brain. All right, let me just call him now since we're talking about it. I hope he's standing by. Let's do this. Let's do this, kids. Bing, bang, boom. Uh-oh. Wonderful. What the hell is going on? No, he's not picking up. Great. Bong, bing, bong. All right, well, there you go. I thought we were supposed to do a show. I thought I was supposed to call him at this time. Bing, bong, boom. And see what happens when you're doing a show? When you try to do a show? Anyway, all right. Well, I'll have to wait for him to text me and see if he wants to call in or not. See what I'm saying, guys? And this is the show that we, have to give to progressive voices. So it's supposed to be a good one. Yo, yo, yo. I'm just trying to text him. Yo. I called you. What's up? All right, that's it. Bung, bing, boom. Hold on. Sorry, guys. You see, this is what we need. Complete dead air on a show. That's the terror. That's how that'll get me a lot of patrons. Just absolute dead air on Tarabuster. All right. Anyway, okay. You know, this is, we just keep going. We keep rolling with it. I don't know where Mark is, but if he texts me, we'll call him back. Otherwise, we will just move on. We'll move on, and we will have a show, right? Let's interview Tara Jr. Well, we will. He'll be back. He left. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm looking at him. Don't look him in the eye. He's laying down. You want to see where he is? I don't know if you could see him. It's too dark, probably. Yeah, you see? He's in the corner. There he is. That's the little cat corner. There's a little bed there. A little cat bed. That's where they hang out. Okay. He's just staring at me. You know, it was funny because I had to babysit. Remember Salty and Spicy? Happy ending to Salty, and it's not happy ending. New beginning for Salty and Spicy. Salty and they were the two kittens that I rescued off the street, and Salty was very social. Spicy needed work, and he's just a fraidy cat. So they, my friend took Salty, named her Louise. Her name is now Louise, and Spicy went to some other person, and it was a shit show. I think I told you guys. The lady, so it was a man and woman, husband and wife, and the wife, I guess, had no love for Spicy, and she actually called the police on Spicy, a 6-month-old kitten, because he pooped outside the litter box, and that's because he was terrified. He was terrified. I told them, you know, this is what you have to do. You have to introduce yourselves slowly. You have to, you know, there are things. It's not like a dog when you bring a dog home, especially a cat that's been, you know, off the street and had to be socialized. So he just needed love. He needed love. And so they called the police. So the woman called the police on Spicy, and then they had a big row, the husband and wife, about it, screaming and yelling. I can't even imagine what Spicy went through. So he ended up giving Spicy back to me. And I was happy, frankly, because he was like, I can't take this stress. So, and shockingly, when I got Spicy back, he was very thin, like a bag of bones, and he smelled like he was sitting in his own urine it's just horrible. So, but the happy ending or beginning for Spicy is that coincidentally, the weekend the man gave Spicy back to me, I was babysitting his sister Louise. So it was all meant to be, and I reintroduced them, and they were so happy to be back together. I don't know. I felt I could kick myself for ever separating them. And my friend who adopted Salty, now Louise, took Spicy too. So they are reunited. And it feels so good. It's wonderful. Wonderful. So happy beginning for salty and spicy. All right, whatever. That's the cat report. Let's get back to work, talking about what was I saying? So the whole stay woke thing is it, and we've talked about this before. Oh, Mark says he's going to call me back in a moment. You can call me. I just, it sucks when you're on the air and you're supposed to be there, and then, well, these are, what do you expect? It's a friggin' millennial. He's the millennial correspondent. Isn't this what millennials are great. They are great. But the whole stay woke saying is another. I mean, the fact that they vilified the phrase is part of their racism, because it comes from the black community. It has a black lineage. This is from an article from the Legal Defense Fund that I came across about stay woke. How woke went from black to bad. And Ishina Robinson writes, "Oh man, hold on. Stay tuned for that. Come on back. Tarabuster." Yep. So Ishina Robinson writes in the Legal Defense Fund website, "We must fight the woke in our schools. We must fight the woke in our businesses. We must fight the woke in government agencies." The Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, of course, declared this at a campaign event. "We must never, ever surrender to woke ideology." His boast about Florida isn't, and he says, "as the state of Florida is where woke goes to die." And she writes, "This boast about Florida is not an empty threat." From his powerful pulpit as the state's governor, DeSantis engineered and recently signed into law the Stop Woke Act, which was struck down by a court as the fascist filth that it is. So the measure leverages severe penalties, including firing educators and pulling state funding from educational institutions for violating this intentionally vague yet broad speech and viewpoint limitations. And that is fascism in a nutshell. You write these vague and broad and non-specific laws, and then you enforce them arbitrarily. That is such a I mean, everything about them, whether they know it or not, they are fascists in their hearts, and every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism, and that's they can't help it. They just can't help it. There's nothing free speech. They're supposed to be the champions of free speech. No, they're not. They're the champions of racist speech. They want to be able to be as filthy and bigoted and racist and ugly and hateful as they are openly, and they don't want anybody to have a reaction to it. If you have a reaction to their filth, then you're canceling them. See? Because they want all the benefits of civilization, but none of the responsibilities. It's another example. They are infants. So they want to be able to say the N-word or bash a targeted minority group, spread lies, spread hate, without anybody having a reaction to it, without anybody having the ability to do anything about it. They want to be able to scream that in the town square. They want to be able to scream fire in a crowded theater, right? That's what they want. But if you do, God forbid you did, right? If somebody did that, of course everybody would know. If that actually happened in real life, there would be consequences for that. And justifiably so. But Republicans, this is what they're doing online. This is what they're doing behind the veil of anonymity. Most of them, right? Because they type so tough behind the veil of anonymity. That's for sure. So the Stop Woke Act threatens not only free speech and livelihoods of teachers, especially black educators who are more likely to teach subjects that involve so-called prohibited concepts. The land of the free, ladies and gentlemen, with prohibited concepts. Oh, Republicans, they love free speech. They just want the freedom to bash and be ugly and to spread lies about targeted minority groups. That's all it's about. Because they need the scapegoats. They need the lies to ensure that they can continue concentrating power and removing your ability or the voters' ability to do anything about it. As we see, for example, what's going on in Georgia now with early voting. I am flabbergasted, and I think that's the only word you can call it, that so Democrats want people to vote. They want to make it more convenient for the voter to cast their ballot. Because unlike every other effing country that calls itself a democracy, here in the land of the free, we don't have election day off. Our election day's on a goddamn Tuesday. And people don't have that day off. And, they try to make it as difficult as possible for people to vote. Of course they do. If Republicans really love democracy, why are they filing emergency relief against people voting? So I was glad to hear Reverend Warnock point that out. The Democrats go to court. So the voters of Georgia have, they could, because the Republicans didn't want them for whatever, some obscure rule. Oh, you can't vote on a day after a holiday on a Tuesday when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars or some bullshit. So the Republicans immediately appeal. They ask for emergency relief from people voting. And they have no shame. They have absolutely no shame. And the people who vote for the Republicans are shameless too, because they know what they're doing. But they understand that. They like that. They are, because they like their big tent of racists and bigots and hateful, small-minded throwbacks to times we left in history's trash pile. Or at least we thought. But, yes, Mark, let me get through this and then I'll call you. Because hold on. Damn it. So the Stop Woke Act, yes. But don't just take our word for it. Ask yourself, what exactly is woke? Where did woke come from? And how did it become apparently worthy of gag orders instituted by politicians and administered with the might of the government? When did it transform from its roots in the Black American vernacular to a supposedly all-encompassing, terrifying force emblazoned across increasingly fear-mongering headlines in the United States and now even parts of Europe? Put it simpler, how did woke go from meaning black to bad? And I won't read the whole thing because it's a very long article, but when you look at the long history of America's reaction to the request for black liberation, every time black people try to use a phrase or coin a phrase that symbolizes our desire for liberation, it will eventually become a curse word to white people, says a Michael Harriot, the columnist at the Grio. Yes, Mark, I will call you in a fucking minute. Okay, the use of the word woke continued to spread throughout all sectors of black Americans' lives. In 1940, after finding out that they were being paid less than their white counterparts, the leader of a black mine workers union in West Virginia launched a strike against this discriminatory pay and reportedly said, "We were asleep, but we will stay woke from now on." The word in the black specific sense would continue to show up across decades, including in Barry Beckham's 1972 play Garvey Lives, where one character says, "I've been sleeping all my life, and now that Mr. Garvey done woke me up, I'm gonna stay woke, and I'm gonna help him wake up other black folk." Woke almost certainly also showed up in everyday conversations of black people from the South, the Midwest, the East Coast, and including Harlem. That New York City neighborhood has historically been a black mecca. It's also where Kelly first heard the word woke being used in the context of the Black Power movement. According to, we've talked about this before. This is something that I can't stand. That never gets the dots never get connected. Of course, right? On corporate media, the media pundits will talk about woke. Oh, something's woke. This is woke. These woke policies, and it's yet another backlash against actually becoming a more perfect union, that works for everybody. It's racism, yet again. We'll be right back. All right, let's try Mark again. Let's see what we got. Let's see what happens. Bing, bang, boom. Holy shit. I'm calling you, man. Okay. All right, that's it. Enough. We'll have to do it again another day. Okay? We'll do another show. We'll plan again. I can't keep, nobody wants to hear that fucking ringing on their ears. Oh, okay. Let's see. Hello?
Hello, Tara. How's it going? Oh,
I don't see you.
I don't see you either. Oh, man. Oh.
I don't know if people can hear you.
Oh, can you not hear me either?
I mean, I hear you.
Oh, okay.
But I don't see you.
Okay. Oh, man. I don't know why your calls weren't coming in. I was seeing them.
Oh, I see you.
Oh.
What the hell is going on?
I look glitchy.
You do. Are you on a good signal?
Yeah. Oh, wait. I think it's working.
Yeah,
now?
I think it takes a minute to kick in.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes that's the way it is.
Gotcha.
Right. We're talking to Mark Middlestaedt, the Tarabuster Millennial Correspondent. What's going on, Mark? I haven't seen you in a while, and you're looking good, kid.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Thank you.
It's been forever. Sorry about that.
Yeah, what happened to you? What's going on?
Yeah, I fell off the face of the earth as usual, but life got in the way again, and just a hectic summer, so I waited to restart the podcast.
Okay.
And yeah, now
You're
it's
talking
back
about
with second
shaping
season.
shaping progress, right? So
Yeah,
tell
that's right, the
people what
Shaping
is
Progress show.
shaping progress. Tell
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, so the Shaping Progress project is kind of two parts. It's the podcast, the Shaping Progress show, and then the Shaping Progress Association, which is kind of like it's like a study group or like a
Oh, nice.
social club.
Wow. So what have you had any meetings of shaping
No.
progress yet?
No, yeah, so we had to, while we were on break, we had to switch websites, so we actually have a new domain and everything. And so we got an updated application and everything, and so those are
Cool.
open again. And then we're going to have our first events at the beginning of next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I mean, I'm really impressed with that.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
it's
am
taken
just
a long time
yeah.
to get started. Yeah.
Right. But have you? I mean, I don't even know what to. I mean, this is basically local to Seattle at this point. Is that
To
right?
Portland.
To Portland. Why do I
yeah.
keep saying Seattle? I have it
it's
stuck
okay.
in my mind that that's where you are. So.
Yeah, so it's kind of local to Portland, but we're also, with the first events next year, we're also going to do virtual national events too. So
Right.
I mean, obviously people could zoom in from somewhere outside of the U.S., but the idea is anybody in the U.S. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's good. I mean, I think my suggestion would be to maybe open it up as Zoom, so
yeah.
people from all over can join in, but also have local meetings as well.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So exactly. So the first event should be both an in-person one and then a virtual kind of broadcast of that, and that has a few people signed up for it already. So yeah.
And what do you discuss in shaping progress?
Yeah, so kind of what you were talking about before I came on, making a more perfect union, and then what leftists and progressive policies and ethics actually look like, and like generally the philosophy behind them and why people should sign on. Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, it's not just. I mean, you're an action. It's work into action. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it's great.
it includes different things like unionization and strikes and general strikes, that kind of stuff. But then also what's planned for the events is also kind of just a response to fascism in your area or when you're seeing it online. There are a few different topics. Yeah.
And is it specifically for young people, or can anybody join?
It can be for anyone. Yeah. The messaging, I would say, is kind of tailored a little more to young people, just because I feel like a lot of the messaging tries to be very broad, and so I kind of want to focus it in, but it's not meant to be
You're not kicking anybody out, but it's
exactly.
Yeah, there's so many. It has such great potential too, from reading specific books and sharing about it, and talking about how you do a civil disobedience action or something like that, and legal. You can even have lawyers come and speak to you about what your rights are and what to do when being arrested and whatnot.
There's I have a whole long list of things for once the events get started.
That's
so it's
incredible.
Kind of just in this next couple weeks a matter of putting them into dates and stuff. So by the end of the year, probably in a few days before the end of the year, all the dates will go out. And then we're having an episode of the show on January 1st. So then I'll talk about everything that's coming in the next year.
All right. New Year's Day. Is that when you're launching?
We've already got the second season started of the podcast.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll be when we launch the events and the more of the association stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Because
so
right now it's just applications.
Right. So when is the Shaping Progress show on?
It's on Wednesdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is it just you who does? You're the host, right?
Yeah, I'm the host. That's right. And And then we have actually our first interview of the second season this week on Wednesday. It's pre-recorded, but it'll be airing on Wednesday. And that's with Oliver Williams. And Oliver is a staffer in Ohio state politics. So we're going to be talking about just he's done a whole bunch of coverage. He's doing a capstone for his work there, and he's been looking at different corporate and lobbying influence on right-wingers in Ohio. Yeah. So got really in depth on that. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, it's good to get local politicians, right? They'll be more apt to. That's what I should do too. Now that I'm saying that, not just local, because I mean, just the state, like your state senators and
exactly. Right. Yeah, he works for a state senator. And we're also going to be kind of talking about how people can get active in their local politics. Yeah.
And that's I think we've allowed the conservatives. I mean, they're well ahead of us in that department. They've organized locally for years, and especially around school boards and whatnot now, especially, but also just. They understood how to take over and become like a precinct committee chairman or chairperson, and and how to influence from locally, from the bottom up, and that's what we need to do. Normal people need to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the main messages, I think, is people can just run for a lot of things that they wouldn't think they would have any shot at, and it usually is people with no reputation or anything yet.
Right.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Do you ever I guess one day at a time, but would you ever run for office? What do you think? You never know, right?
I have considered it. I would probably more likely end up in the campaign or something like that. Probably not be the front runner themselves, but I would definitely consider it. Yeah.
Right. It's just such a. I remember. I never ran for office or anything, but I remember Mike Malloy talking about it. He had briefly run for office, and he ended up dropping out because it was. He said it was all about raising money, and he just couldn't do it. He couldn't get on the phone all the time and beg people for money. And it was like, no, this is not for me. And that's part of the practical realities of being a representative. That's what they do all day. Not all day, but they go to specific places. Because it's such hypocrites, such unabashed hypocrites, because you're not supposed to. Because of the Hatch Act, you're not supposed to fundraise on congressional grounds, but so they go to a different location, and they have phone banks set up there where they dial for dollars, and that's what they call it. They call up rich people, and they're not calling up me or you. They're calling up the masters, the big moneyed interests who own both parties, and that's how they spend the majority of their time, not trying to figure out how to make the world safe for democracy. They're begging rich people to keep them in their cushy, phony baloney jobs.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's vile to think. That's the system? Wait, hold on. I hear the music. We'll be right back with Mark Middlestaedt, Shaping Progress. All right, we're back. See how that was quick? It was quick.
It flew by.
That's how life goes, I'm telling
you.
You're going to blink and you're
fast.
Right? It's like, wow. I can't believe it. I was a millennial in my mind once. Well, I was young once, but never a millennial. But,
yeah, exactly.
But the millennial, I was, by the time what happened? September 11th. You don't even remember September 11th, do you?
Right. Yeah. I was not quite yet born. I was about 6 months unborn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And
incredible.
You're still in touch. You're still in touch with the millennials, because lobbying and all of that. That's exactly what I think people are really trying to tap into now with the millennials. And I think it's even more clear kind of after the midterms how much of a role the
Yes.
younger generations are going to play in the future.
Thank
And
God.
the biggest issues for us are the fact that we don't have a direct democracy, and we don't have, anywhere near the capital to have
Yeah.
any influence on politics anymore.
Right.
And at that rate, there is just so much less engagement because people don't have avenues to directly get involved without going out of their way or having an interest in politics
Right.
beforehand.
Right.
And so some of the message is like, you really don't need to have all of the experience to educate yourself and then get
Right.
somewhat involved. Yeah.
But it is gives me hope that it seems like the younger generation are engaged more than my generation was. That's for sure. I mean, different people. I was always interested in what was going on, but this last election was a testament to, if it not for young people, the Generation X, not X, I'm X, Z they call them, right? Generation
Yeah.
Z, Gen Z. Then they put the Democrats over the top, and they are the most progressive generation so far.
Yeah.
That's
by far,
that's,
yeah.
oh my God. And that gives me hope. Could you imagine if it was the opposite? If they were the most Hitler youthy or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would
Yeah,
be
exactly.
really, it would be, I'd be a lot more despondent. But knowing
Yeah.
young people are, they're woke. They understand. They're not filled with hate. They don't bigotry and racism and stupidity like that. They're not buying it. And,
and
I love
when
that.
they do, they get challenged on it in an organized way. I mean, young people aren't just more likely to turn out to vote and everything. They're more likely to take action and
Right.
to go down to their city buildings and protest.
That's great.
And at that rate, there are probably a slightly smaller than equal amount of people who are willing to, in my generation still, who are willing to go out and take action for the other side. But those, the understanding among my generation is definitely much clearer that those people just aren't on the moral side.
Right.
And that is something that is going to have to filter out into all the other generations. And I would also add that with really polarizing current events like the Kanye stuff that's been happening,
right.
or like the Elon Musk Twitter takeover, I mean, to the extent that Republicans will or conservatives in America will be taking more action, like buying up these companies or getting bills passed, to that extent, there's also going to be a bunch of my generation who's watching and seeing that fundamentally the truth is it doesn't work.
Right.
And so that is what the real saving grace is. Thank God conservative policies, just there's nothing to them.
Right. They have nothing but the divisive policies against targeted minority groups. It really is true. And it's great to see that young people are not falling for it. Not obviously Nick Fuentes is 24 years old, so I don't know I think something obviously is very disturbed in his mind. I think he's probably a closet case or something like that. He hates himself in some form.
Right.
And there's no doubt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, and the ironic thing about some of those people is that they're still in their parents' basements,
right.
and they're, it's like even if he didn't hate himself, the material reality is just, he's talked about being a virgin and things.
Right. Well, that's what he says.
Just,
he doesn't have any time for a relationship or sex. He's definitely I just saw that earlier. I was looking up. Because I was reading something about him, and he said he's an avowed incel.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have any time. He's busy. He wants to be a historical figure, so he's not wasting his time with sex. So he's definitely probably a closet case, I would say, like closeted gay, and hates himself for it.
Yeah, there was
So-
also something on the topic of Nick Fuentes. I saw something a few weeks ago about him being involved in some particular website, some forum, and he was just it was like almost in the furry community level. Like
wow.
it was in a weird tangent
Wow.
of those communities, and it was like
He's-
involved
yeah.
hypnotism. It was strange. Yeah.
He's probably. I mean, he could also. I'm just speculating. It's this. He's probably. He is sick and repressed. He might be. He might be attracted to children, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, from what he says about how children should get married.
Yes.
Yes. It's just
and that's
forced
that other
marriage.
guy too. Mark. We talk about him too. Now his name is escaping me. The other guy. It'll come. The what is a woman guy. Yeah. Matt Walsh. Yeah, Matt
That's right.
Walsh.
That's right.
He's another one that says that that talks about basically young girls are fertile at 16 and
Yes. Yeah. The guest that we have on Wednesday, Oliver, he's a trans man living in Ohio. So I mean that will also be an interesting part of that conversation.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Walsh was actually in one of the questions that I had written for that. And I mean, like all of the rest of the conservatives, you can see in Matt Walsh and Nick Fuentes the just disregard for the facts or the fundamental realities of the situation, because they might. The dog whistles are not even really dog whistles at this point. It's just kind of temporary excuses like, we're not violent, or we're not white supremacists or whatever. We just want a white ethno state.
Right.
How are you going to make that happen?
Exactly. We want everyone. I mean, that's the I used to say the Republican motto should be the beatings will continue until morale improves.
Right.
Because that's really what they're selling. They want everyone in their so-called natural place, and then it will be utopia.
Yeah.
But that's not reality. The more we get towards everyone having a seat at the table, you see, they would much rather burn the system down than have to share a country with someone who's different. So and it's also, like we say, a lot of it is self-loathing, and I mean, if I know for a fact, you could just tell they're sick. If you just get the goddamn help you need and stop inflicting it on normal society. But they won't do that. Hold on. We'll be right back with Mark Middlestaedt from Shaping Progress. All right. We're back again.
Sweet.
I know. It goes so fast.
Yeah. But before the break, you were talking about the Republicans being sick, most of the more radical ones that we're talking about here. And they're definitely sick, and part of that is, brainwashing. I mean, to try and get into the weeds of each of these arguments is like you have to combat so many levels of delusion. It's like obvious to see how they get stuck in the maze,
Yes.
So
it is very. I mean, when you listen to them, and it's funny, right? When you watch who's that guy? The Good Liars, those two guys, I can't remember their names, the comedians. And they interview them. They go to the Trump Nuremberg rallies and interview them, and it is cognitive dissonance meeting the Dunning-Kruger effect. They say things. I just heard a clip earlier where they were saying that Trump is still president, right? They believe that Joe Biden's not president. He's being, in fact, Joe Biden died, and he's being played by different actors. They're serious. Yeah. They're serious.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And one of the actors they are convinced is Jim Carrey, because the way Biden fell up the stairs when he was climbing Air Force One day, climbing up. He tripped So they knew that was Jim Carrey because he does all those pratfalls, and then so the guy asked, well, okay, so Trump is still president. They're like, yes, of course. Why? Well, I guess he's to blame for high gas prices then. And they were like, oh no, it's Biden.
Right.
That's Biden. And they're like, I thought you said Biden is dead. And so it's like you go into this rabbit hole that it doesn't matter.
Right.
Truth, reality, and it's bizarre.
Yeah.
These are like people that share this country with us. It's
that
fascinating.
share the same air.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we have full-throated Nazis around us, and I mean, the closer you live to rural areas, the closer you live to areas that are Republican strongholds, the more fervent it gets. And the response is interesting because, you know, there's been a kind of a tradition of the way that oppressed populations deal with fascists, that they're sharing the same air with. And in America right now, it's kind of different because the whole country's perception of logic and right and wrong has kind of gotten so skewed over the last 5 or 10 years, especially, that the main narratives within the media are going really off of the rails, and so it just kind of becomes more and more difficult to deal with that amount of delusion. And at that point, it really depends how nuanced and, you know, hyper specific to those fervent brainwashed Republicans that we're talking about, that these narratives get tailored, because we could see a future reality where things just continue being so crazy that in some ways these people just can't let go, no matter what kind of deconditioning we're eventually able to come up with. And I mean, it's really noticeable when you think about like how America eventually will have to deprogram these people if it's still around. It really is. It really is the fight to keep it still around. Then after that to really have something built up.
I know. That's it. That's because you have to deprogram this cult somehow. And I'm thinking about it with the end of Nazi Germany. The only thing that deprogrammed the cult was the death of the cult leader and the complete destruction of their country. So I don't know that if I certainly wouldn't want that to happen here, but what will it take to break them out of this spell? And I believe that they're always among us, people like this. We just have to continue to evolve without them. And this is the problem with Democrats always trying to play nice with these people that are, you know, they don't negotiate in good faith. I mean, talk about the Republicans. They know what they're doing. They lie. They know that they're lying to the people and triggering them to commit violence, and they realize this, and there's no, how do you work with that, right?
And it's tricky because there are the people who are brainwashed that we interact with are very different from the fascists and the corporatist billionaires and politicians who are actually doing all of this. So those people have also kind of crafted a number of other avenues besides just the fervent fascists that you can go down that don't help the worker power or social or human rights. So those other forces that you can kind of become involved with are like the neoliberal establishment, and that's just obviously one of the core tenets of neoliberalism right there is, you know, we're trying to work within the system to the extent that it's not helpful. And that's kind of what we see. I mean, I loved your midterm coverage because it had that passionate go out and vote, but there's also a lot more to be done too. And still talking about all of the main problems. And I think one of the big things that the left is dealing with right now, I mean, we've seen the right deal with, do you listen to the Nazis or the neo-Nazis or just the billionaires, or who do you listen to? And on the left, I mean, there are a number of different ways of thought. Oh, something.
Yeah, my camera's like that's what happens when my for some reason my camera, it goes to that picture of grass and a tree.
Oh yeah.
There's something about it. I don't know what.
Yeah, I saw it
like
for like
disconnected. Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think that the conflict on the left is, who do you listen to? Do you listen to like the liberal billionaires? Do you listen to like Bernie Sanders and the Squad? Do you listen to like the politogram, the kind of the YouTube sphere, or are you prioritizing people of color? I mean, there's a whole bunch of different avenues, and so like many other parts of leftist politics, neoliberal and conservative fascist forces are really good at going in and sometimes, you know, in the form of trolls and bots and stuff, sometimes just by radicalizing actual listeners, going in and having them just keep promoting those kinds of issues within the left. And it's a lot of disunity. Division, so
look, there goes my camera again. I don't know what's happening. I think something it must mean that there is something wrong with maybe my stream, you know, because it's like having trouble. I don't know. It's having trouble, like, what do you call it? Disseminating the info. So
scaling.
Something is happening with it. So, but anyway, we'll talk more about this at another day, because I'm sure we will continue to talk about shaping progress. And of course, Mark, the millennial correspondent of the Tarabuster show, I'm glad to have you back.
Glad to be on. I'll have to have you on the show in the next couple of weeks.
Of course,
too,
anytime.
Awesome.
Yeah, and thank you for calling in, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Could I do one?
Yeah,
or two
please.
More plugs real quick?
You got it. You got it.
I think I forgot to mention the blog portion of the website is also real active again. I've been doing.
Oh, cool.
I've been doing kind of current events rundowns from the week every Saturday. So that's one.
At Shaping Progress?
Yeah, so it's shapingprogress.online.
Okay.
And the blog portion is /blog. Yeah.
Not org?
Also, no.
Because that's what I put in your lower third. Oh, wait. Gotcha. Do you have the Twitter account, Shaping Progress?
Yeah, at Shaping Progress. And that also has all of the links too. If there's one link that has like all the other links, and that's shapingprogress.online/links.
Okay, cool. I'll put that in the description of the show.
Sweet.
So that'll be good. And I will be reading all your entries here. So good.
Thank you.
Very nice. All right, my friend.
Yes. Thanks so much for having me.
We'll talk later. All right, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, perfect. And then the perfect timing with the music. We'll be right back. All right. Oh, no. Where am I? There we go. Boom, boom. Why can't I get myself? Why can't I fix my camera? Okay, guys. I had to rush Mark off only because I felt like, remember what happened a couple of weeks ago when all of a sudden the show froze? So I started to get nervous and think that it's going to happen if I if I continue to tax the system, for whatever reason. I have the Restream that's supposed to eliminate all those problems, but I did restart the computer before the show, so I don't know. But I felt like the glitches and all that were happening, that all of a sudden it was gonna freeze, and I can't have that happen. I can't deal with this shit. I can't take that shit of something freezing. No, ma'am. All right, so let's see. What time is it? And I apologize for my salty attitude about the phones not being able to connect. And I have to tell you guys, as Mark was talking, and remember right before we got Mark on the air, and I gave you the update of Salty and Spicy, or Spicy and Louise. Now, my friend emailed me or texted me. Here they are, Spicy and Louise, together, hanging out. Look at that. Good babies. Very good. That's good, right? Makes you feel better. At least Spicy and Louise are things are looking up for them. What are we talking about? Pardon me. I didn't mean to do that in your ear. Jeez. Yikes. All right, here. This is something I wanted to talk about, and it's all related, as we know. It all goes together with everything we're talking about. I mean, how the money in politics is the root of all evil. Why the United States stands alone without health care, without sick leave. And I saw Biden today, because there's some consternation, rightfully so, against Democrats not being able to pass a goddamn paltry, measly 7 days of sick leave. People who have unlimited sick leave. You realize that? Senators, congressmen, and women, they have unlimited sick leave. They also have health care for life. These bastards. How do you live with yourselves? That's the United States of serfs and lords. I got mine, Jack. Sucks to be you. They don't even feel the need to be embarrassed for that, right? Because they don't fear the people. And so if this were another time, maybe the pitchforks and torches would come out. But they don't fear that, because they know that the people are sufficiently manipulated by propaganda, as long as they give them something to hate. Right? Just like in 1984, the 2-minute hate. Is give the people something to hate, and they'll vote for their own demise all day, any day, without a hint of irony. They won't even see. They're too worried about whether a trans kid is getting gender affirming care than the fact that the United States stands alone without health care or sick leave. Because that's all it takes. Well, another abomination just came across the Tarabuster news wires. We have a little ticker tape, for breaking news from Common Dreams. This is today, though. Millions of Americans lack adequate health coverage, but the Pentagon has a new nuclear bomber to flaunt. This ominous death machine with a price tag of $750 million a pop brings huge profits to Northrop Grumman. That's a hard one for me. But takes our society one more step down the road of spiritual death. A quote from peace activist Medea Benjamin. So Brett Wilkins writes in Common Dreams, or for Common Dreams, peace and economic justice advocates responded to the imminent unveiling on Friday of a United States Air Force new $750 million per plane bomber, reiterating accusations of misplaced priorities in a nation where tens of millions live in poverty, lack adequate health coverage. And he puts a period there, but we can go on. Can't retire, can't make a living wage, can't take a sick goddamn day, can't take maternity leave or paternity leave. The military industrial complex giant Northrop Grumman. Hold on, something in my eyes. Is set to introduce its B-21 Raider on Friday. The B-21, whose development was 30 years in the making and whose total project cost is expected to exceed $200 billion, is tapped to replace the aging B-2 Spirit. One thing the world definitely does not need is another stealth bomber, says Medea Benjamin, the co-founder of the peace group Code Pink. Let me show you. And here they're on Twitter. That's me. That's not the page, but here it is. Northrop Grumman tweets, "Today's the day. We're thrilled to partner with the United States Air Force to reveal the B-21 Raider. Tune in at 4:35 Pacific and watch the live event. Hashtag defining possible. Hashtag rise of the Raider." Disgusting. And look at these. The people are responding. Eagle, America, waving flags. Can't wait. Bring it on. Sick. What's the speed? Fucking disgusting. You see, that's why. That's why we can't have nice things right there. Because people are so dumb. They really are. They don't see. They don't put it together. They don't connect the dots. They're fine begging on GoFundMe for health care. While the Pentagon, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, Joe Biden, they have to do the budget. The president does the budget or proposes a budget. And the Congress approved a budget that actually included billions. I'm not sure how many billions more. I think it was like 400-something billion more something. It's right here, actually. I didn't even notice that. The projected $876 billion ask for the 2023 Pentagon budget is $45 billion more than Biden even requested. Right? Some human needs that 45 billion that could be funded are 401,735 registered nurses, 4.5 million public housing units, over 1 million jobs at $15 an hour, or solar energy for 128 million homes. See, we have our priorities exactly backwards. Well, anyway, we stick together, we win. So hopefully we're waking some people up. Because we're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. And that's what we do here on Tarabuster. If you can, become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. And we will win. All right, my friends. Support the show. Help us keep going and growing. And my name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. I fucked that up again. Oh, and I also forgot to say, Thomas wanted me to plug Accurate Message again. Accurate Message, which is a new social media site. I don't know. It's kind of confusing to me, I have to tell you. But I made an account on there. I guess I'll have to figure it out. I wish Thomas all the luck in the world, for sure. But it's a little confusing to me. Right? I mean, people who have social media sites, you gotta have, like, hedge funds backing and shit like that, don't you? And I don't know. It's very confusing. But hey, let's join it and see what happens. I joined it, as you can see. I'm on there. There I am. It would be great if everybody... I'm just very confused by it, but Thomas can explain. We'll have him back on. Explain more. There's my... I don't know. I have no idea, guys. It's a new social media site that's supposed to be like Facebook, Twitter, everything. Restream. Unlimited streaming. Unlimited like Zoom calls. Weird. That's okay. Join it and we'll figure it out together. AccurateMessage.com. And I'll talk more about it later. Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm losing my voice. I don't know why. Oh, I did it again. I'm sorry. No wonder I lost a lot of patrons. They're sick of my shit. So this ominous death machine with its price tag of $750 million a pop brings new, I already read this, huge profits to Northrop Grumman, but takes our society one step down the road of spiritual death. Benjamin added, referring to Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s 1967 anti-war speech, Beyond Vietnam, A Time to Break Silence, in which the civil rights leader called the U.S. government the greatest purveyor of violence in world history today. In the world today. Noting the B-21's impending introduction, Canadian professor Christopher Stonebanks tweeted on Wednesday, hey, how's the good old USA doing on free health care, eliminating poverty, and accessible education for all? What? Oh, I see. They have a new stealth bomber, and their citizens are good with that trade-off. Yes, they are. Yes, they are, Professor Stonebanks. Because they got bigger things to worry about, like if a trans kid is getting gender-affirming health care. In spite of the fact that we don't have health care. Or if they're figuring out how to really hook someone with a pathetic plea on a GoFundMe page. You really got to pull those emotional heartstrings to get all that your GoFundMe for your healthcare needs to go viral. So you have to find some kind of hook, when you're doing your your physical therapy, or maybe when you're sitting there getting your chemo and you feel nausea, a bout of nausea going on, you or coming on, you call to the nurse and you ask him or her to start, to hit the record on your phone so you can include that in the montage of all the challenges you have to overcome in order to live one day at a time. And you might, all of that might get to someone, they'll see it and they'll feel bad for you, so they'll put $5 down on your GoFundMe page, which should last you about 5 minutes or less. But there's a lot of competition on GoFundMe. So if you have a kid that needs that was born with some kind of pre-existing condition, that might or you could be one of the poor saps who went to Walmart at the wrong time and got shot, and now has to go have a lifetime of physical therapy ahead of them and psychological therapy from living in this fucked up madhouse where you can't do anything without taking your life in your hands. We love life here, Professor. It's don't you know? We love life and Jesus. All about Jesus. They love Jesus. The socialist hippie who hung out with a bunch of dudes and a prostitute and gave out free health care. But here in this fucked up country, we have little murdering, fake crying sociopaths who compare themselves to Jesus, and right-wingers are happy enough to go along with the scam. And I'm talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. He's a professional victim. He compared himself, a murderer who compared himself to Jesus. He said, if the world hates you, this is what he tweeted, keep in mind, it hated me first. That's from the Bible. That's supposedly a quote from Jesus, because he's like Jesus. Right? Who would Jesus shoot? Isn't it funny? This is the way Republicans are. They're the ones who show up with assault weapons and go home with blood on their hands after murdering 2 people and attempting to murder a third, but they're the victims. The professional fucking victims. This country is so sick. So this Canadian professor, it's baffling to him and the rest of the world. But what's worse, at least I have to say, talking to Mark Middlestaedt, our Millennial correspondent, and just like we're saying, young people aren't dumb. They see the scam. They know they know the drill. They're not falling for the bullshit, and they're involved and they're active. And wait a second. But looking at the Twitter page of Northrop Grumman or whatever for this fucking announcement of this stealth bomber that cost nearly $1 billion, and watching the response, every single one of these responses should be, this is an abomination. That should be the response. Millions how many people have needlessly died over the years because they don't have health care? They can't afford health care in the richest country on earth. Take that $40 billion that the Pentagon didn't even ask for and put it towards the general welfare for once. Who benefits from this? You know who? The military-industrial complex. Just like Eisenhower said, humanity is hanging on a cross of iron. It's a betrayal. And the idiots on the that's all they got. They get some kind of charge, I suppose. Since you don't get health care, you don't get anything, you don't get any benefits back from your tax dollars. There's no social contract. There's no general welfare. So you might as well jerk off to a stealth bomber and make you seem like, when you put on your stupid shirt with eagles and stars on it, like, you're a big man. You're big and scary. Well, the whole world looks at you with confusion and wonders, how can somebody so stupid walk upright? I'm looking at these responses to Northrop Grumman. Look, exciting stuff. Congratulations. Come on, it's like that's like 2:35 local time. You want me to stay awake all night? Well, who's that? Who fucking knows? A bot? Today's the day. Jesus Christ. In 7 hours. Can't wait. Let me know when you have a poster of the B-21 so I can mount it above this one on my wall that I picked up at the Dalton Air Trade Show. Only in America. Revealing a bomber as if it's a video game announcement. I'll still watch though. I'm excited. Jesus Christ. In 4 hours, they're counting down. People posting flags. Oh my God, no wonder. No wonder. Can't wait with a heart emoji. What the hell? Is this going to end up being what Maverick flew at the start of the movie? Beast, USA. Can't wait. Another can't wait. What a joke. Wow. Well done. This is really disgusting. Not even, I love death machines. There's one, right? Like, no criticism. No, and putting it in context. Seriously badass looking plane. Fuck this. Get me out of here. Is anybody in Ireland listening to this shit? Ireland, are you listening? Get me out of here. Is there somebody in Ireland that can lend me their couch? Preferably a hot model type who has a castle on a cliff where I can stare out at the sea and pinch myself and say, was that real? I really lived in that madhouse? That sick madhouse? Unreal. Where murderers run free? Murderers like Kyle Rittenhouse run free? And half the country doesn't think they're free unless they can beg a billionaire to trickle on them. Unless they can say, please, please, trickle on me. Oh, help, save me, Elon, from the woke people who just want to live their life in a free, diverse, democratic society that so many fought, bled, and died to entrust to us. Help us, Elon. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and workers can't get 7 days of sick leave. But, wow, look at that plane. That's cool. So betrayal of railway workers ignites a working class fury towards Biden and Democrats. Exactly. Well, they're saying, well, it's true, the Republicans suck. Any of you railway workers voting Republican, shame on you. Shame on you. But shame on Democrats, too. Shame on the whole system. You better believe if we didn't have money in politics, that we would have sick leave. We would be able to take that extra $40 that the Pentagon didn't even ask for and put it towards the general welfare. Sick leave, maternity leave, a more perfect union, e pluribus unum and shit, leaving no one behind, a civilization worthy to be called great, worthy to be called the richest country on earth, because riches or wealth isn't just financial, isn't it? Well, if you're, I guess if you love Jesus, right? Then it's all about money, 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 money. Money, right? Right, Trumpansies? You love Jesus, but you got your money, 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 money. Con man. Oh, I can't wait till we see his taxes. And what are you going to say? What will your excuse be when you see that he's not rich? He never was. And the only riches he ever accumulated was through grifting and sucking on the government teat, tax dodging, tax cheating, not paying his fair share, not paying the price of admission. While you assholes go jerk off to a new stealth bomber. While you, in between your GoFundMe campaigns. Fucking morons here. Yeah. Politicians are happy to voice platitudes and heap praise upon us for our heroism throughout the pandemic, said one rail leader. Yet when the steel hits the rail, they back the powerful and wealthy Class 1 rail carriers every time. Of course they do. How about you waking the hell up? And you wake up your brothers and sisters. Fellow workers. I mean, they don't give a shit about you. If they could automate you out of a job, they will. They already cut the workers. They cut 30% of the workforce because they don't want you. They don't want to pay you. They want money for themselves. And if they can get a robot, that's what they would do. That's what they did. This is why they can't have any sick leave, you see, because the bosses cut 30% of the workforce, but they still need the trains to keep rolling. So you are doing more work for less appreciation, that's for sure. And they just work you to death for no benefits. No, you can't. You're not supposed to be a human being. you see. Only the likes of Lindsey Graham gets to take a sick day. And then you got to see the likes of Marco Rubio. He's complaining all the time about how he has to go to work. These people. And they continue to vote for them. Working people actually vote Republican. Yeah, and the Democrats are to blame, of course, too. Because why didn't Joe Biden? He says, I'm pro-labor. Anybody pro-labor wouldn't be against 7 fucking days of sick leave. And in fact, Joe Biden said we will continue to fight for the rail workers to have 7 days of sick leave. And I wanted to pull my hair out as usual, because why don't you say everybody needs at least, like the rest of the world, sick leave, 30 days they get in England. 30 fucking days guaranteed. That's on the low end. But not here in the dumb land of the free. You're not free to take a sick day, though. You're not free to be human. Not free to take a day off. Because the bosses need you to work. It's like in the first Gilded Age. The life expectancy in Carnegie's steel mills was 40 years old. Because, you had no days off. You couldn't take a sick day. Work. And then you die and somebody else will come along and who cares? Because you're nothing. Your reward will come in heaven. So why? What's the meaning of an economy? According to Republicans and conservatives, and sadly, a lot of dummy Americans, the meaning of an economy is to make the rich richer. Because you know what, guys? Maybe one day they'll be rich. They'll be a billionaire one day. And no poor person ever gave them a job, they say. So they better take the scraps and make a meal out of it. Pretend it's a 5-course meal in your mind while you're, hanging out at the bathroom, looking at the pee-pee for the pee-pee patrol. Who's in the pee-pee? Where's the pee-pees? Are they dressed properly? Are they in the right bathroom? Are the pee-pees where they're supposed to be? Are they dressed like the pee-pee that they should be? According to them? That's the only thing you got, You got hate. You got hate. You got your targeted minority groups. You don't got a sick leave, though. You're free. You're free. You don't need a government telling you what to do. You pull yourself up by your stupid, not even your bootstraps. You pull yourself up by your stupid and go, I'm free. Do these people, you know what? This is the thing too. This is another reason why Republicans, they realize we now live in a very small world. And, like the old song goes, how you going to keep them down on the farm now that they've seen Paris? But how you going to keep telling them that the universal health care isn't the gateway to Nazism now that they could see the whole goddamn world through the internet? But that's not what Republicans are doing, you see. They're on now, well, it used to be 4chan, but now they're on Twitter owning the libs. They are focused on real pertinent issues like making sure children don't have gender affirming health care like they give a shit, and praising Nazis, fighting the woke on the beaches, in the fields, in the mountains, in the streams. You know, real important shit. While the rest of the world has, I don't know, healthcare, universal living, well, not everybody has living wages, obviously, but other countries like Germany, guaranteed living wages. They have all their boards, corporate boards of directors have to have representatives of the workers. So, not here, though. Here in the United States of serfs and lords, we're not at the table, we're on the menu. Like when Obama invited, this always bothered me. He had a labor, or what were they talking about? Economic summit. When this country was once again teetering on the verge of a second Republican Great Depression in 100 years, and he not one representative of labor was at this economic summit. It was all the fuckers. It's all the usual suspects. Jamie Dimon, all those pricks. Yeah, because you're nothing. And another thing they keep talking, is inflation, right? What's the meaning of life? Exactly. What's the meaning of life? Is it to make the rich richer? According to Republicans, that's what it is. To make a few people very rich. What's the meaning of an economy? It's to make a few people very rich while you toil in the field and pray to Jesus for your mansion to be ready when you get to heaven. That's what they want you to think and say. Oh, because they have the earthly rewards all to themselves. They're nothing but, they were all about the earthly rewards. Oh, yeah. It's just, but they have a whole bunch of morons just eating it. That shit sandwich that Republicans make for them and conservatives of both parties. They eat that shit sandwich because they ordered it all the time. Give me seconds. Give me double. I'll take a double of that shit sandwich. Because I'm not woke. I'm fighting the woke. I'm fighting the woke in the fields and the streams and the rivers and the stars and the moons. I'm not woke. Ha ha ha. Look at these t-shirts. They say, see how Twitter was so biased? Stay woke. Never mind, it was an initiative for Twitter employees and outreach to their African American employees. It's all about mocking racism. We're not racist. Oh, I bet you're going to call us racist now. Because you are, I guess. Ugh. It's almost unbearable to live here among so many Stockholm syndrome suffering dupes. And guess what? I guess having a stealth bomber or two would not be offensive if there a living wage, retirement security, health care, days off, sick leave, shit like that. But it's about priorities. And you don't see the military-industrial complex having to go on GoFundMe. Only the dummies, the stupids, who are so dumb. They keep on voting for their own demise. They don't see, the game right in front of their faces. The divide and conquer game of, as long as, what is a woman? Let's talk about women, biological males in sports. Fuck you. Really. Let's talk about everything else but what needs to happen, what needs to be done to make a more perfect union. Let's talk about everything else but cutting off the money spigot for the rapacious, disgusting 1%. That will never be enough for them. Never, ever. But they have us. It's not going to happen because they have us so divided, so twisted. I mean, that's why I'm here. I try to break through. Try to reach out in the airwaves with some, sanity. We're talking about the truth, the reality of the situation, of what we're up against. Greed, money, hypocrisy, indifference. Everything that sucks. That's what we're fighting. We know what has to get done, but it won't get done because the dummies are too far gone into Stockholm Syndrome. That's for sure. They think they're free. And because they can go to a Walmart with an assault weapon. When they're suckers. And they could masturbate to... Oh, they think they're free. Masturbate to a stealth bomber and go on Twitter and own the libs. And say the N-word again and again. That's freedom, guys. Don't you know? Here in the land of the free. Look at this cat, though. What are you doing, Junior? Look at him. What are you doing? What are you doing to me, kid? Anyway, there's only a few more minutes left of the show. That's why I just looked at the time. We only have 3.5 minutes, and you know how it'll fly by. So in these last 3.5 minutes, I want to just say we will win. I want to thank you all for all your support, too, all the time, and for being here. Being part of the Tarabuster community wouldn't be. We would not have a show without you, and I mean it. And thank you, Mark, for being on the show and for your inspiring activism, for sure. And all your support, financial, spiritual, emotional. Yep. So, like I say, if you can become a patron, please do. Please do. At patreon.com/TaraDevil. I'm going to have to set up some other things. I know that you can make YouTube things. I haven't done that yet. Like a YouTube, join the YouTube or something. Join it. I got to make YouTube shorts. Shit like that. I have so much work to do. It's so annoying. All right, buddy. I hear you. I hear you, honey. And yeah, I have to fix up the Patreon page. So, but if you are a patron and you or a supporter of the show, you know who you are, and you want a Tarabuster mug, you gotta send me an email with your address, your name and address, the email at tarabustermedia at gmail.com, and we will, meaning me, will send you a mug. Why the hell not? Yeah, that's what I can do. And there'll be other swag things. I think I gotta really work on that Patreon page. And I had other things we were going to talk about tonight, but we will, obviously, it will never end. There'll be more to talk about on our weekly show, at least. We will have at least one weekly show during the week. Maybe more, eventually, if we get more supporters. So if you can, please become a patron at patreon.com. Share the show with your friends. Patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Support our sponsors like APS Radio News. And tell them, tell Charlie that Tara sent you to APS Radio News. We will win. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. That's the truth. My name is Tara Devlin. We stick together. We win. I'll see you soon. Ba-da-dum-bum. Have to fix that too. Fix that too. I don't know why it does that. It's very annoying. All right, my friends. You guys are great. Great. Thank you, Winston. Winston liked the show tonight. I'm happy. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Steven. And thank you, Mark, for coming on the show. Mark Middlestaedt, Shaping Progress. And thank you, Haiku, for being a moderator. And thank you, Jim, for being a moderator. And your super chat. And the super chat's disappeared, so I don't know if anybody else sent a super chat. So I don't want to miss anybody. I want to thank you for your support. You guys. All right, my friends. I gotta go. I gotta go lay down. So tired of it. It's exhausting. It is. The stupidity of seeing the stupidity drains me. You know? Going through that Twitter feed of the Northrop Grumman is exhausting. You know what I mean? Ugh. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm not sure what day we'll have a show, but we will. We will have a show. And in the meantime, remember, we're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, and humanity. Thank you, guys. Check out accuratemessage.com. Make an account. Why not? It's free. It wouldn't hurt. And, yeah, I will see you very soon.